This video is going to cover section 6.1, Early Numeration Systems. Okay, so this is actually a pretty interesting chapter because it talks about kind of like the history of numbers and where we came up with our own system. So these number systems, that's what a numeration system is. It consists of a set of numerals and a method of arranging these numerals to represent numbers. So, for example, if we were to represent with just, let's say, a basic pattern, let's say the number 24, we could say that that's I'm sorry, two tens and four ones. And you might remember this from when you were in elementary and you used to kind of use little like little unit cubes and the tens and the hundreds and way back in the day. Okay. That's kind of where this is coming from. So to do this, we're going to introduce what's called the Egyptian hieroglyphics, and this is for powers of 10. Okay, so these guys, what they did is they had symbols. I'm going to scroll down a bit here. They had symbols that represented 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so forth. And we're just going to work with up to a million. Okay, that way we can see how they use this additive system and how we in turn use it for our own numbers. Okay, so here on the side, you can see the actual symbol. So I'm going to be referring to this quite a bit. And we have what they mean. So as far as this part goes, I really don't have too much information on that. Why did they want to call it the first one a stroke, the second one a heel bone? I don't know. Okay, but you're welcome to research it if you'd like. Okay, so anyway, here's how it works. If we have a number that has a unit, one the unit, that would be a stroke. So if the number was five, then you would have five little marks, kind of like a tally mark. Okay, if the number was 50, well, then you would have five heel bones, which would be this thing right here, okay? Those little upside down U looking things, and so forth, okay? So before we even do any of that, let's kind of start with an example of our own, and then we'll be going back to this, okay? So if you want to screenshot this or write it down, I definitely recommend it because you're going to need it for your assignment, okay? So let's start with one of our own numbers and see how this breaking down of the numeral works so we can apply the additive system to it. So let's say we have, I'm just going to make one up right here. Uh, 2,347. Okay. So if I were to write this number in terms of the these numbers up here, okay, the Egyptian hieroglyphics, I would first want to see, well, how many of each type of number do I have? Meaning, how many thousands do I have? How many hundreds do I have? How many tens do I have? And how many ones do I have? Okay. So it looks like I have, this is the same as, okay, 2,000 plus 300, okay, plus 40 plus 7. So all I'm doing is that I'm breaking it down into its bare roots, okay, into how many, what is that, what exactly does this number mean? And then I can break it down even more. I can say that 2,000 is the same as 2 times 1,000, okay? 300 is the same as 3 times 100. 40 is the same as 4 times 10, and 7 is the same as 7 times 1. And now we have exactly what I'm kind of getting to here. We have it in terms of 1,000, 100, 10, and a 1, because those numbers are the ones that I can associate with right here, these numbers right here. Okay, so once you've broken it down into this form right here, okay, so once we have it here, we're going to convert to the hieroglyphics. I do not know how to spell that. Hopefully I spelled it right. Hieroglyphics. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go ahead and use our system up here. And again, you're going to have to, I'm going to be going back and forth, but you have it in your book. So if you're not sure, take a look at it there or write it down. Okay, so thousands are, those are the lotus flowers. So I'm going to have two lotus flowers. So let's do that first. I have two lotus flowers and they look kind of like this. you can draw. This would be a great time to practice your skills. Oh, I kind of messed up a little bit. Make that better. So it looks like this part is actually not filled in. I'll just fix it. Okay, so we have 2000s, and then we have 300s. So the hundreds are, let's see, what symbol is that? The hundreds are scrolls. So I'm going to have 3 scrolls. So 1, 2, 3. Those are pretty good scrolls. 4 hundreds. I'm sorry, 4 tens. 4 tens. So the tens are the heel bone. So I have 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 ones. And if I remember correctly, the 1 is just a tally mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's it. This is the equivalent to our number that we're used to, okay? This one. This would be the Egyptian hieroglyphic. By the way, what is this one? What would we call this one? Well, we use what's called the Hindu Arabic numeral system. Okay, so the Hindu Arabic system is the one that you're used to using in our class and in general. Okay, and there it is, Hindu Arabic. Okay, so let's try another one just to kind of see how this works. Let's do another example. So let's use that color. Let's do one that has a 100,000 or something. Actually, let's do a million. So let's do 1,234,000. 101, something like that. Okay, so just like before, we're going to go ahead and break this down. So this is the same as 1 million, okay, plus 200,000, okay, plus 30,000, okay, plus 4,000. This is kind of a long one, plus 100. And we don't have anything in the tens place, so we don't have to do anything for that one. Let's see, what haven't I used? I'll use this one. Plus 1. So plus 1. Okay, now we're going to convert this into where we can break it down and see how many of each we have. So the first one's actually kind of easy because we only have 1 million. Oh, do not know what happened there. 1 million. So that one's kind of the same. Okay. Plus, well, we have 2 of these, so 2 100,000s plus 3 10,000s plus 4 1,000s plus 1 100 plus 1 1 unit. Okay, let's go ahead and draw these out now. So the 1 million, we have one of them, and it looks like 1 million is, let me see, what was the 1 million? Oh, it's the astonished person. So I'm just gonna do my best at drawing that. We have a little astonished person. It kind of looks like that to me. So there's my 1 million, okay? And then the 100,000, that would be we have fish for that one. So we have 2 of those. So it would be 2 fish. That's not a very good fish, but there are my 2 fishies, okay? Then we have 10,000. So 10,000 is the pointing finger. We have 3 of those. Kind of looks like a slanted, I don't even know, paper clip or something. Well, you get the idea, okay? Plus 4 thousands. So my thousands are the lotus flower. That's the one that's the hardest to draw. It's kind of like a little flag with arms, I guess. Oh, we're getting worse. All right, well, there's my 4,000s, okay, plus 100. So 100 is the scroll, so it's going to be this little scroll. That one's nice and easy to draw. And then we have the ones. We just have 1. So there we go. And so this number would be the same as 1,234,101. Let's see, there's my 1,000,000, there's my 200,000, there's my 30,000, 4,000, the 100, and the 1. So they're all there. One thing to note, and I didn't mention this earlier, but the cool thing about these is that you don't have to put them in order. So if I wanted to, I could rearrange this and I could start with the scroll if I could do this one first and then do the rest. It doesn't really matter. Um, I would say to make it easier for us to put it in order just so that way it's easier to read. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay, there's no rule that says you have to for these. Okay, so that's the basics of these, how to write these Egyptian hieroglyphics. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of adding and subtracting now. Okay, so here are some examples that we're gonna go ahead and do. It says use Egyptian hieroglyphics. Okay, to find the following sums and differences. So I'm trying to draw a line here. It's just not coming out for me. Let's see. There we go. So we have 23,341 plus 10,562. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this in terms of what it means. So I'm not going to color code every single thing, but well, maybe I will. So the first part, okay, so this would be 2 times 10,000, right? Oh, I forgot a zero. Okay, plus 3 of the thousands, okay, plus 3 of the hundreds, plus 4 tens, plus 1. Okay, I'm just rewriting things right now, so we're gonna make it easier. By the way, for the actual hieroglyphics, go ahead and refer to your chart. I'm gonna use my book as well, so I don't have to be going back and forth and moving the screen all over the place. So for the second one, we have 10,562. So it looks like we start with one of these. So 1 times 10,000, that's the first part, plus, okay, then we have 5. So 5, oh, did I do an extra one? Oh no, yeah, we're good. Plus 5, actually it's 500, so that's not gonna go there. It's gonna go over here, plus 500, okay, plus 4 times 60, sorry, 4 tens. Where am I getting these numbers from? My mind is going everywhere. I'm right here. 6. So plus 6 times 10, okay? And then we have 2 ones, so plus 2 times 1. So let's go through this one because I kind of lost my place here. So we have a 10,000. So that was this one right here, one of those, okay? And then we had nothing here in the thousands place. That's why I have nothing here, okay? And then I have 500, so there's my 500s, 6 tens, and 2 ones. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to be working with here. So let's go ahead and add this up. And you could do this a couple ways. You can actually draw every single one out, but I'm going to kind of do it a quick way. You're welcome to do it my way, or you can do it the way it is in the book. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up these things right here. So that's 3 of them. So that would be 3 10,000s. Okay, plus there's nothing on this part, so it would just still be 3 1,000s. Okay, plus we have 8s here, so 8 100s, plus 4 times 6, that's going to be 10 tens, and then 1 plus 2, so 3 ones. Okay, so what I did is I just combined them here so I can just do the picture one time. Well, maybe one time. We'll see how it goes. So we're going to go ahead and draw that now. So the 10,000, those are pointing fingers. So I'm going to have 3 of those. Looks kind of like that. So we have 3 of these, okay? Then we have 3,000s, and that's the lotus flower. Okay, so I have the little lotus flower. I have 3 of these. Hopefully yours are better than mine. 800s. Oh, that's the nice and easy one. That's just the scroll. So we have 8 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then we have 10 of the 10s. So the 10s are the heel bones. So I'm gonna have 10 of these. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna layer them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then I have 3 of the ones. So 1, 2, 3. So this is technically your answer. Okay. However, what happens if we have, when you're adding regular numbers, that when you have a 10, well, usually you'll raise the power, you'll raise the 1 to the next number, right? So the same thing kind of happens here because we know that, this is kind of a side note, okay? We know that 10 times 10 is equal to 100, which means that this whole thing right here, I can change to 100, or a scroll, okay, one of these things right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to rewrite this nicely. So I'm going to kind of like carry it over, and now it becomes a scroll, okay? And that would be my answer. This whole thing right here, this whole thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put the ones on over here also, so we don't have to combine them with the one I just crossed out. So like so. Remember that the order of these doesn't matter. You could mix them all up as long as they're in the same little box or circle you make. Okay? And let's see, does that make sense? So this means we have, let's see, 30,000, 34,000. Okay? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 of those. And then 3. So there's a 0 here somewhere. Let's see, is that our answer? So this is our numerical answer in Hindu Arabic. Let's do the math here real quick. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 plus 6 is 10, carry the 1, 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9, bring down the 3. Oh, 2 plus 1 is 3. Where did oh, that's why, yeah, this should be a 3, not a 4. Just messing up left and right. There's 3 of them here, so. But yeah, there you go. They are the same number, 33,903, 33,903. So as a rule of thumb, just be real careful with this. Make sure you have a lot of space. I'm kind of having to cram in here, but be real careful when you're doing your own calculations. Okay, we're going to try another one of these. Addition. I'm going to go a little bit faster on this one. So for this, and I'm not going to color code so much if that's our, well, I guess I should to kind of keep it consistent. So this one's going to be, let's see, 3 of the thousands. So 3,000s plus 400s, okay, plus 5 10s plus 2 of the ones, okay? And then the one on the bottom is going to be 1,000, okay? Nothing with the hundreds, one thing, and we do have a 10. So plus, this is in the tens place right here, 1 times 10. And we're just going to add everything up here. So this would be 4,000s, 400s, 6 10s, and 2 1s. I have to go back to the book, guys, because yeah, this one I don't remember the symbols. So we have 4 of the thousands, which are the lotus flowers. So lotus flower, I'm getting worse at drawing this. So there are 4 of them, okay? And then we have 400s, which is the scroll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that covers this one. And then we have 6 of the tens, which is the heel bone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 ones, which is just the tally. So our answer looks like it's going to be 4,462. Let's check. So there's my 2, 5 plus 1 is 6. Bring down the 4, bring down the 4, and that's it. Okay. So yeah, they check out. Make sure that when you do these problems, yes, I know this is much easier because that's what we're used to, but I do need you to go ahead and do this entire thing here. Okay? Because that's the we're focusing on being able to convert this into the old additive system to see where it comes from. Okay? One more problem like this, and this is going to be a little bit different because now we're subtracting. And for this one, it actually helps to, we do have to kind of draw everything out here. Okay? So when we're subtracting, we have to keep in mind that we can carry things over, okay? So you just need to be careful with that because sometimes something will change into something else, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line up everything nice and neat. So we're gonna start with our 3/100,000s, okay? The 100,000, and I keep forgetting, is the fish, okay? So we're gonna have 3 fish for the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So there's 1, 2, 3 fish. That covers this one. Okay. And then we have 3 10,000s. So the 10,000s, those are the pointing finger. So let's do that and I'll pick yellow. So that's going to be 3 of the pointing fingers. So I don't, mine looks like a carrot or something, but those are the pointing fingers, okay? And then we have 2 of the thousands. And thousands are, I believe, the lotus flower. Is it? Yeah, these are the lotus flowers. So it's the one I have a hard time drawing. So there we go. There's 2 of these guys. Okay. And then we have 300s. So I believe that's the scroll. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think. Yes. Okay. And then we have 4 of the tens, which is the heel bone. So 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And last but not least, we have our 6 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we have to, from here, we have to subtract this part right here. Okay. So it looks like we're going to subtract 1 of the thousands. So that's 1 fish. Okay. I have nothing here in the 10,000, so I'm not going to put any pointing fingers there. But I do have a with 1,000 place value here. So I have 1 of those. So there's my lotus flower. Okay. And then I have 5 hundreds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you see the issue here already. Okay. And then I have 1 tens place and 2 of the ones. Okay, so one way to do this is that you can kind of just cross things out and say, well, these are going to cancel out, that's going to cancel out. But then if you look at this part right here, you see that you don't have enough scrolls to cancel out the scrolls on the bottom. You can't have a negative. It's like you're subtracting. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to borrow, okay? we're going to have to borrow one of these guys to bring him over here and change him. So change one of the lotus flowers into 10 of these scrolls. So we can cancel out all this, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to take me a little bit of time because I do have to redraw all this. So let's see, this is the borrowed down here. This is the borrowed version. Okay, so we can see, I'm going to go ahead and redraw everything. I'll try to be quick. So on the top, we had 3 fish. I'm just going to do that. That's okay with you guys. Okay, then we had 3 pointing fingers. So 1, 2, 3. And then instead of 2 lotus flowers, I'm only going to draw 1 because I'm going to borrow the other one and bring them over here. So if I change this guy into scrolls, that means it's 10 of them because 10 times 100 is 1,000. Okay, so now instead of, and I'll leave it this color, I'm going to have 10 more of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the 3 that I already had. So 1, 2, 3. And I kind of kept them the same color just so you could kind of see what happened. So this guy became these guys. Okay, we just replaced it, essentially. All right, and then we have everything else the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And then everything on the bottom. So here we had the 1 fish, horrible looking fish. We had no pointing fingers. We had the 1 lotus flower here. Okay, and then we had 5 scrolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 heel bone and 2 ones. And now we can subtract. I know it's a lot of work, but I think you only have to do 1 of these. So hopefully that's not too bad. So from here, I can go ahead and kind of cross things out. So I can cross that out. I can't cross anything out here. I can cross this out. I can cross out, so it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can cross out 5 up here. So there's the 5. There's the 5. I can cross out 1 heel bone, and I can cross out 2 of these. So what am I left with? Okay, it's kind of, I know it's kind of a long problem. We are left with 2 fish. I think it'd be easier to draw a fish. And then we have the 3 pointing fingers. Okay. We have none of the lotus flowers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scrolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 heel bones. Oh, here we go with this again. So we have 3 heel bones. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we have 4 of the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's equal to, as a final answer, okay, let's see, our fish represents the 100,000. So we have 200,000, 30, nothing here, so that's a 0. And then we have 8 of these, so 8 scrolls, 30, 4. So 230,834 should be our answer. Let's check real quick. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. We can't do this. We have to borrow from here. So 13 minus 5 is 8. 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2. Exactly what we wanted. Okay. And now, finally, almost done, the Roman numerals. So this one I'm not going to go too much into because you've seen these before, and I hope you know what the rules are. I'm going to go through them super quickly because you only have to do 1 of these. But Roman numerals are just another numeral system where 1 is 1, 5 is represented by this V, 10 is an X, 50 is an L, 100 is a C, 500 is a D, and 1000 is an M. A couple of tricks to kind of remember these just because I did extensively teach this topic for a while. To remember the 100, you can also, if you know Spanish, you can think of this as cien, okay? And the 1,000 would be mil, como un mil, okay? If you don't know Spanish, that's okay, just memorize this, okay? But these have several rules, okay? So really quickly, the rules kind of go as such. If you have a smaller number next to a larger number, then it comes first, you subtract. Okay, so this one has a subtractive system and it has an additive system. The additive system goes in pairs. So you would kind of pair up each of the, like if you have four letters, you pair two and two, if that makes any sense. That's why when you think of the number IV, which is probably the most popular one, you know that these go together and you're subtracting because the smaller one is on the left side, which would be four. And BI, since the smaller one is on the right side, you would add and that would be 6. So if smaller is on the left side, you subtract. If it's on the right side, you add. Okay? Kind of sort of like that. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. You can read it. But that's the basic gist of it. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at some examples. I'm going to go right into this one. We have DCIV. So remember that D is your 500. Remember, here's my numbers again. So you're kind of thinking here on this example that this is 500, okay? And then C is cien, which is 100. So since the smaller numbers on the left side, we add these two. So you're thinking 500 plus 100 is 600, okay? And then we have that IV again, which we just kind of discussed. Remember, this is 1 and this is 5, but the smaller numbers on the left side, so we subtract, and that would give us 4. So this would be 604. Okay, let's try another.